G'day again. This video is on our cosine rule, and I'll show it to you, and then I'll just say something about it. Okay, so our cosine rule says, again, I'll draw it nice and big, for any triangle. Again, we'll have sides A, B, and C. And what I'll have is our angle opposite little a, which is big A here. So that's that angle there, angle A. What the cosine rule says, and it's a bit like Pythagoras, it says that a squared equals b squared plus c squared. So that's the bit that looks like Pythagoras, okay? So the subject of the formula, which is little a, is always the one that's opposite the angle that you know. Okay, so big A is there, that's the one we know, we're looking at there. So a squared equals b squared plus c squared. And the bit that you have to try to remember beyond Pythagoras is minus 2bc cos a, and that's where the cosine comes from. So that is your rule there. And so, just sort of a little bit of a summary. I didn't talk about it in the last video because I wanted to show you this, but when do you use the sine rule? You use the sine rule when you know like two or more angles and you're trying to find various stuff, okay? Use the sine when you've got two or more angles. You use the cosine rule when you only know one angle, or you're trying to find an angle in a triangle or something like that, okay? So if angles are plentiful and you're nice and easy, you're happy, sine rule is usually a quick way. You'll get used to this anyway. And cosine rule when you're trying to find an angle in a triangle, or you know one and you're trying to find a length. So it only involves one angle, as you can see there. Okay, so that's your cosine rule. Pretty basic. Let's have a look at some examples, okay? When I say basic, I don't mean easy, but you follow the formula, you plug the formula in, okay? So straight to some examples. Let's go to a triangle, usually what we're doing here. 8, 3, and 10. And let's say, let's pick an angle, which one should we try to find? Let's do this one here, theta. Let's try to find that angle. So if you're looking at this and didn't know it was a cosine rule question, you look at it and go, well, we know the three side lengths. We're trying to find this angle, so it only involves one angle, so therefore it's a cosine rule question. Okay. So let's have a look at it. We've got theta opposite side of length 10. So this is sort of like the subject of the formula. So this is how I remember it as Pythagoras. So I'll just write down the formula again. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc. You get used to this because you use it all the time. So what have we got? We start with the side opposite. So 10 squared equals 8 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 lots of 8 times 3, that's b times c, and the cosine of the angle there. And then it's just a matter of solving this guy, okay? So therefore, 64 plus 9 is 73. Subtract 73 from 100 and you'll get 37 equals negative, what's this? 16 times 3, negative 48 cosine theta. Therefore, cos theta equals 37 over negative 48. Therefore, theta equals, we'll invert the cosine and get 37 over negative 48. And see what we get on the calculator. Cos negative 1 negative 7. There we go. I was just trying to see if I made a triangle, it can't be solved. No, that's okay. It's going to be a big angle there. Cos negative 1, 37 over negative 1. So, true. Cos negative 1. Just terrible memory. 37 over 48. 37 over negative 48 equals, and we get 140.43. 3 degrees. And there's your answer. answer. Okay, so that's how we use the cosine. That's an example of how you'd find an angle in a triangle where you only know the 3 side lengths. Okay, I'll do an example now of where you're trying to find side length. Okay, and it's all the same. You're just using the same rule. So if you're bored, stop the video and go practice something. But you probably don't need to watch this. But I might tell a joke at the end that you might want to hear. Get there. Whoa. Okay, so say this is, let's say 5 degrees in there, and I shouldn't be making these up because I get into trouble when I make up triangles. They're bad. Let's say we want to know this length here, x, and that is 78 centimeters. And how long should I make this one? It'll have to be about the same. I hope it works. I always get into trouble. Yep, that'll be okay. Alright, let's do this. So, again, you've only got one angle in here. You have no way of knowing what this is or what this is. Okay, so it only involves one angle. It's the cosine rule. Okay, so when you get all mixed questions, you'll start having to sort of figure out which rule to use. So we've got the opposite there. There's your angle, and so this is like the subject of your formula. I should have probably chosen one of those, but anyway, you'll get used to these. X squared equals 78 squared plus 74 squared minus 2 lots of 78 times 74 cosine 5 degrees. Okay, and so I'm just going to bang this all into a calculator. If I was you, that's what I'd just start doing. Just start writing it all out in one go and just evaluating in one go rather than doing piece by piece like you did when you're in year 9. Let's do it now. So straight into your calculator. Oh, who could be bothered figuring this out, to be honest? I wish I could just minimise it. Maybe I'll just minimise it, something like this. You're probably thinking this like in the last video. Oh, just minimise it so you don't have to remember it all because you've got a terrible memory. Okay, so here we go. I still can't get it on the screen. Alright. So it doesn't work well for me. Alright, this is not going to work. 78 squared plus 74 squared. So 78 squared plus 74 squared minus 2 times 78 times 74 and cosine 5 equals control equals 59.93 59.93. Now, what heaps of people do is make the mistake to go, therefore 59.93, that's how long x is. Just remember, please do the square root because that's x squared. Therefore, x equals the square root of 59.93 equals, oh, oops, I've gone to the wrong screen. I want to do the square root of the previous answer. So what's this thing that's just come up? Sorry. There's something weird pop up on the screen. Equals 7.74. I just can't remember what that is. And I've got the answer. 7.74. Okay, 7.74. We're in centimeters here, so 7.74 centimeters. So there you go. That's how to use it. Now, just on a note, people will probably go, square root of something always equals plus or minus, but in this case, it's a positive length here. We've got a real triangle here, not a triangle with a length of negative 7.74. Positive 7.74. That's okay, because we're taking into account what's really going on. And that's the cosine rule. Thank you.